Okay. I didn't know I was the president.
So it is. So it is.
I'll tell the president board of directors you just elected me. Anyway, I want to take a minute and just kind of share some things with you that are really important. You know, we're celebrating Memorial Day tomorrow, and this is Memorial Day weekend. And in our society, there's a lot of names for Memorial Day. It's the day when summer starts. People talk about the shore and things to that effect. It's a day of picnics and activities. But above all, it's supposed to be a day of memories. Things weird. That's better. It's supposed to be a thing of memories. So today what I want to do simply is take some time and we're going to kind of reflect a little bit. Because to me, it's not only the memories of the people that are here, it's the memories of people in life. And I believe in something very strongly. And the reading today just said it. The whole purpose that we talked about today said the exact same thing. There's a spirit inside of each and every one of us. That spirit is the part that makes us who we are. And that spirit actually kind of takes a place inside of our body. Our body's only a casing, but it's the spirit that's important. And on Memorial Day, we take a minute just to reflect back on the spirit, our spirit, and the spirit of all those who have gone before us. Those who have served in the armed forces, those who have served in any way in the course of our journey throughout this world, because I truly believe that no human being on the face of the earth is here without a purpose. Each one of us is connected to each other. And so what I want to do is share a couple of things that are important to me and how I kind of look at Memorial Day and look at the spirit of people around me. I had the wonderful opportunity as a priest for many years to be at the deathbed of very many people. And one of the things I saw so very powerfully at the moment of a person's death, it's almost like there's something magical that happens. I can't even explain it, I just have to feel it. It's almost like at the moment of their death, you can almost feel and see their spirit leaving their body. The body becomes cold, and who they really are kind of moves on. And I really feel that that energy and that spirit just moves to another dimension, to another place, because all of us are spirit. And the core of us is our spirit. It makes us the individual that we are. And I believe that we're all God's creation. And so we truly get in touch with the spirit that's inside of us, then the spirit of God will flow through us. We're only channels. As you come into this building, and I want to share some things because 37 years ago when we started this crazy place over in South Philadelphia, I kind of dedicated our building to a very special gentleman. And I said I would always tell his story and share his story because that story is connected to two other gentlemen. And it gives it the idea of how spirit works in our society. Back when I was a priest in Atlantic City, I met a gentleman named Elijah Smith. A very simple gentleman that came from the inlet section of Atlantic City. And it was a gentleman who had a struggle, as many of us have struggles. His struggle was with addiction, and he fought and he battled. He spent 10 years of his life struggling with the struggle going on inside of him. We used to call him Smitty for short. We found Smitty dead in his apartment. He died from this disease. And a few of us from AA got together and we did something very powerfully back then. We kind of chipped in. We bought a tombstone. And the tombstone says, Smitty sober today.
Aww.
If you walk into our front door, our starting point, it's kind of hard to see because it's way up over the top of the second door. There's a plaque that says our building is dedicated to him as the symbol of the struggling person. And if you walk throughout the walls of Starting Point, I talk about two other men whose spirit is right here, and their photograph is hiding behind that wall. Two men named Dr. Bob and Bill W., whose spirit reigns in this room today, and who has given us the gift through a bunch of other crazy people, as I call them, You know, I often say that the spirit and energy of this place was created by a bunch of recovering drunks. Isn't that fantastic? Shows you how God works. What's so beautiful about it is that energy and that spirit, those two gentlemen, is fully alive in this room, is fully alive in each and every one of us. And it proves to me that the spirit of every human being that touched us in our life is part of our journey. Here at Starting Point, you'll notice a lot of plaques up on walls and our memorial walls that you go outside and around the place and every place else. We try not to forget anyone who's going through our doors, because they're a part of us. And every day when I arrive here, the first thing I do is have just a very private, small prayer service to remember everyone. I don't want to forget anybody. It's all part of our journey. We're all connected. We're all spirit connected back to God. And I truly believe that when we celebrate Memorial Day, we celebrate the memory and the spirit of every human being who has walked on the face of this earth. You know, years ago when I was growing up, there was a famous comedian. I know there's some people in my generation here, so it's great. And you probably remember him named Jimmy Durante. You know, little inky dick. Okay. Anyway, he used to do something at the end of every one of his shows. He would say, "Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are." Remember that?
Yes.
And they asked Jimmy one day, "Who's this Mrs. Calabash?" And he responded by saying, he says, "Every night when I finish my show, I say goodnight to every human being on the face of the earth." And so today we come together to celebrate Memorial Day, and we never forget all those who have gone before us. Every human being on the face of the earth has gone through struggle, not only from our family, but from everybody that we're connected to. And I truly believe their energy and their spirit is in this room today. And so as we celebrate the gift, and each person represents a big part of us as human beings. And so what I want to do is kind of a closing meditation with you. And after the meditation, I just have something I need to present. And we'll basically continue that process of continuing the energy of all the people that we meet. Because all we are more creations of God. And we're going to pass it on to somebody else, and they'll pass it on to somebody else, and the journey of life will go on. Isn't it fantastic how wonderful it is? And nobody ever dies. It's fantastic. I love it. I got to tell you a story before I get there. I have 1,000 stories. What can I tell you?
Please do.
But this is one of my favorite stories. When we first opened Starting Point in South Philadelphia, it used to be a transition house for street alcoholics. We had a soup kitchen, and we had a gentleman there named Arthur. He used to be our house manager back then. Arthur died of a heart attack one day. His name is on the wall here somewhere. I got to go find it. But anyway, he died of a heart attack, and I went to his funeral. And I'll never forget this funeral as long as I live. A Baptist minister conducted the funeral, and it was in the funeral parlor. And you can visualize, you have the casket opened up with Arthur's body in it, and the minister came out, and in typical style, that's why I love them so much. I always love being around Afro-American clergymen, because they got the spirit. So anyway, one of the things I loved so much about it was he came out, and he said to us, and kind of shocked everybody, he said, "All right," he said, "all of you come up here and take a look at this." He called Arthur this. We all looked at him, wow. He said, "Come on up here. If you haven't seen him yet, you want to take another look, hurry up." Everybody was done. He said, "Are you all finished?" "Good." And he kind of shocked, and he turned around and he slammed the casket shut. He said, "Get that thing out of here." And everybody in the place, their eyeballs were popping out. They slid it off. He stood there and gave a beautiful, beautiful talk for the next 35 minutes on the spirit of Arthur. And he said, "You see that thing we took out of here? That wasn't Arthur. That was his leaky old house. Too many leaks in it, he had to leave." And I always loved his analogy, but what he talked about, because he was a personal friend of Arthur's, he talked about the energy and the spirit of Arthur. And he said, "Arthur's not dead. Arthur's in this room." And so we truly look at spirit that way and realize the fact that all of us are just spirit on a journey. And we have a casing, but the casing is going to get old. and the casing will say goodbye, and a new casing will come along, but it's all part of the journey. And so when I do this meditation, just realize that there's a spirit taking place here today that's very powerful and very beautiful. There's the Spirit of God that's flowing through each and every one of us. I'd like you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and just relax. Take a moment and just kind of visualize yourself as a beautiful little baby getting ready to be born into this world. Our Creator comes up and says to you, I'm going to send you on a journey to a place of learning, to a place of struggle, and to a place of joy. I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you the Spirit of love. No matter where you go, that Spirit will always be inside of you. And as you walk the journey of earth, a part of you, because I'm also going to give you something else. I'm going to give you free will and an intellect. And at times you're going to really think and forget the Spirit that you have on the inside. But as you walk the journey of earth, I promise to walk alongside of you. And if you ask for my help, I will send messengers into your life to renew your spirit. But your spirit is who you are. You have this energy inside of you. You will have it to the day you leave the earth and come back to me. So I give you this gift, the gift of love. And as you totally look within and realize you can't walk alone, and you ask for my guidance and my direction, that spirit and energy will flow inside of you and will flow out to others. So with the Spirit of love and this Spirit, we come together today and visualize this room filled with all different types of spirits and energies that are around us today. Visualize the spirit of all those who have gone before us in this earth and the struggles they've gone through. And realize they all have gone back to the Creator, and the Creator smiles upon us and watches us on our journey. We are truly God's lovers. Give us the strength to be able to share that love in all that we do. And never forget, the gift of love must be shared. And only when it's shared does it come back to you 100-fold. We ask this in God's Spirit. Amen.